commitment in the practice of politics in Rivers State. As a governor, some people will say, you've done this, you don't do this. I have done this. When you come, do the other one I didn't do. Before long, you just said 21. If I did something for 4 years, another person comes and does the other one for another 4 years. And by now, would have done about 5 of those different sectors. Like Odili came. Odili gave Rivers State 100% energy. Now, if you look at it, another one comes for health. We're growing a growing democracy.
Oyesu said the federal government has not done enough to develop the state.
I think that federal government has not done well because they've had so much money. There was a time the crude in Nigeria was selling for over 100 per barrel. So what happened? Where is the money? Where are the infrastructure? What has happened to our education? What has the federal government done with all the monies they've gathered from the south in the way to Katsina and Daura? Because president comes there, will the president come?
After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Stay tuned.
Voice of the people.
This is Today 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News.
Mekeke has denied killing late Chukwuma Eleje. Mbatu Mekeke, who made the denial at the opening of his defense in court, also said he never witnessed when the body of the delivery agent was exhumed from the septic tank in Arthur George Access of Port Harcourt in 2017. He said he was tortured by men of Special Anti-Robbery Squad to give confessional statement when he was arrested. He also denied meeting the second defendant, Divine Nabe, before the crime was committed and that he never invited him to his house, claiming that he never ordered any item from Jumia and that he has no connection with every evidence tendered by the prosecution team. Our correspondent reports that the trial judge, after the defendant announced the closure of the defense, adjourned to Monday the 15th and Tuesday the 16th of June for continuation of cross-examination of the first defendant. River State government has said traders who won shops at Rumuwoji Market stand the chance of losing their stores if they fail to meet up with the financial requirements. Commissioner for Housing, Tasi Chinedu, said this in an interview with newsmen in Port Harcourt. Chinedu said the fixing of the deadline for traders to pay up for the shops was aimed at fast-tracking the...
But any of them that we have given this number, this account number, that didn't make the first payment of 40%, the first installment, they stand to lose their allocation. The same thing with the precast tables, we'll reallocate the precast table. And for the shop, if you pay the first installment, we allow you for the next 6 months to complete the payment. If after 6 months, for shops, you didn't complete the payment, you will lose the accommodation or the allocation.
On the foreign scene, Burundi's top court has made a ruling aimed at ending the power vacuum created by the sudden death of President Pierre Nkurunziza. The Constitutional Court has said that President-elect Variste Ndiyishimiye should be sworn in as soon as possible. Legally, the Speaker of the Parliament, Pascal Nyabenda, should have become the interim leader, but the cabinet decided to refer to the court, and now Ndayishimiye is due to become president 2 months early. He was elected in May to replace President Nkurunziza, who had been in power for 15 years. Russian President Vladimir Putin has made his first public appearance in weeks of coronavirus lockdown to celebrate the country's National Day. He used the Russia Day holiday to promote a controversial reform of the constitution, which could keep him in office until 2023. 67-year-old Putin has dominated Russia for the past 20 years, whether as president or prime minister. Moscow lifted lockdown curbs this week despite a huge number of infections. And in sports, the federal government has officially commissioned the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja. This comes a year after the federal government pledged to immortalize the late sport philanthropist and nationalist Chief Moshood Abiola by renaming the stadium after him. President Muhammad Buhari, had on June 12, 2019, announced the change of the name of the National Stadium to NKO Abiola Stadium. And now to NG News, here is a summary of the major stories. The APC has disqualified Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki from participating in the party's governorship primaries. The federal government has announced plans to withhold the passport of passengers arriving in Nigeria for 2 weeks. And in the news, we also told you that the Rivers State High Court has adjourned the trial of the prime suspect in the murder of a Jumia delivery agent till Monday and Tuesday next week. And on the foreign scene, you heard that Burundi's top court has ordered the swearing of the president-elect Evariste Ndayishimiye as the substantive president following the death of the former president Pierre Nkurunziza. And that was the news as edited by Chinedu Iwuna. For comments and inquiries, the news at todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget, take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. I am Success David. Good evening to you. And stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Here I come with my voice, here to win. It's my choice. You can dream if you believe. Give it all you've got. They are fast, I am faster. They are strong, but I'm stronger. I'm the best, so I pick up my chest. My dream, my speed, and my strength. Give me the power to win. We're flying higher to the top. Can't stop me now. Give me the power.
I believe in my dreams. That's my way. I never surrender. Reaching much further, more than any other. Beyond the sky, there's no limit. I'm flying higher now, breaking boundaries in every ground. Never settle for less, always for the best. Glow brightly like a star.
Yes, good evening and welcome to Soccer Nation, the best 15 minutes of football you can get anywhere on radio. My name is Victor Oriahi, and as usual, right here on Fridays, let you in on all there is to know from the world of football. Of course, football did resume yesterday in the Spanish La Liga. We'll be giving you the results of that and, of course, matches to expect this weekend across other major leagues. But we start off from the local scene,
Give me the power to win.
where former Super Eagles forward Chinedu Obasi says he has evidence to show he was asked to pay a bribe to be included in Nigeria's squad to the 2014 World Cup in Brazil.
Give me the power to win.
Obasi, in an Instagram live interview with Kelechi Bernard on the 8th of March, said officials asked him to pay a bribe to be included in the squad, but refused because he felt it was not the right thing to do. After the interview, Nigerians charged the former Schalke 04 forward to make public the names of the officials who requested bribe from him. Reacting in an Instagram live interview with Legit, Obasi said, "If I share names, what is going to happen? The interesting thing is that the media or people come out and act like they don't know that something like that exists. And some people attack me personally that how could I say that? I am telling you about what happened to me and you don't have to doubt me. I don't have anything to lose. I don't expect anything from anybody." It's just like all the rape cases trending in Nigeria. If someone says this thing happened to him or her, why would you try to challenge the person when you were not even there? But at the end of the day, it's my word against others. I didn't even intend for the whole situation to escalate to the level it is because I was just answering a question on a live chat and make the team. How could he say I didn't make the team when I was already sent to me to get my visa? He said, "I respect everyone's opinion, I'm not going to call anybody's name, and that is my personal Obasi. But elsewhere, former Sevilla striker Federic Canute has tipped Super Eagles winger Samuel Chukwueze for the African Player of the Year award in the nearest future. The ex-Mali international, now a La Liga ambassador, was named the African Player of the Year in 2007, speaking during the Spanish La Liga. According to him, both players have what it takes to win the award, which has not been won by a player in La Liga since the Malian won it 13 years ago. Well, La Liga has exciting players that can win the African Footballer of the Year award for the award in years to come. He, however, said the Nigerian needed to improve on his contributions to his team if he hoped to excel. He says football has the technical part, the tactical part, and the mental part as well, which is very important. If he keeps a very high level of discipline and work ethics, I think he's a kid that can be very impressive in the coming months and years for La Liga. So it depends on how much dedication he's going to put into his work, and if he becomes a team, it's going to be very difficult. He will learn that he is still young, so I wish him all the best. That is according to Federic Canute to Samuel Chukwueze. With that, we move straight to the European scene, starting with the English Premier League, where players and coaching staff will not be required to wear masks at stadiums when the Premier League restarts. Players will be encouraged not to spit or clear their noses and not to break social distancing during goal celebrations. There will be no ball boys or girls. A system of sterilized replacement balls will be used. Aston Villa and Sheffield United will be the first game when the league will be required to wear masks at all times, except for during play, and physios will have to. On Thursday, the Premier League announced there will be a minute silence to remember those who have died with coronavirus before the first match. Heart-shaped badges in tribute to frontline NHS staff will also be worn on kits. Clubs agreed to a range of medical and operational protocols for the restart of the season at a meeting held yesterday. There will also be strict limits on those allowed into stadiums on match days, and grounds will be split into zones, including the tunnel and pitch size. Real Betis in the Seville derby as La Liga returned after a 3-month gap with some teething problems off the pitch. Groups of fans ignored guidance as they gathered outside the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium before the game, and some of the TV presentation left plenty to be desired. But in Lucas Ocampos, the host had the key man to win the first match played in Spain since the coronavirus pandemic halted proceedings on the 10th of March. Of course, that game ended 2-0. The first goal was scored by Ocampos, a 56-minute penalty, and then Reyes got the second goal in the 62nd minute. Are set to feature for Barcelona as the La Liga leaders return to action at Mallorca. The league's coronavirus suspension has given Suarez time to recover after the Uruguayan striker underwent surgery on his right knee in January. Top scorer Messi had a thigh problem, but the Argentine forward returns to training this week as Barca prepare for their first game in 97 days. According to coach Quique Setién, he says he's doing perfectly and will not have any problem. Speaking about Suarez, he said he's better than we expected, but the question is how ready he is after so long out and whether he's ready to start. Well, Samuel Umtiti is also fit again, but fellow French defender Clement Lenglet is suspended, as well as Ronald Araujo, who could make just his second Barca appearance. Well, Real Madrid replaced Barca at the top of the table when they beat defending champions 2-0 at the Bernabeu on the 1st of March. But Barca regained top spot on the 7th of March as Messi's late penalty, his 19th goal of the season, gave them a 1-0 home win over Real Sociedad, and Real Madrid lost 2-1 at Real Betis the next day to surrender the initiative in the title race. Barca are currently 2 points clear with 11 rounds left in La Liga, which resumed, of course, yesterday with Sevilla's derby win over Betis.
Give me the power to we're flying higher to the top. Next up in there. Give me the power to
Football leagues will be allowed to open transfer windows before the current campaign is concluded under new regulations announced by FIFA yesterday. The world governing body announced the measures in response to the delays to leagues across the globe caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Premier League Chief Executive Richard Masters has already said England's top flight will not allow clubs to sign players before 25th of July after the delayed campaign is brought to an end. Most European leagues have similar plans in place, but FIFA's new regulations would allow for windows to open earlier, stating that associations following a dual-year calendar are permitted to commence the first registration period for the 2020-2021 season prior to the completion of the 2019-2020 season, which is subject to conditions. While FIFA also announced that players would be allowed to play for up to 3 clubs rather than the usual 2 during the same season. The Premier League will return on the 17th of June with each club having at least 9 matches to play, while the FA Cup, Champions League and Europa League also still have to be completed. And in the Italian Serie A, of course, tonight Juventus would face AC Milan at the Allianz Stadium in the Coppa Italia. Juve and AC Milan will be the first 2 sides back in action following the suspension of Italian football when they face each other in Friday's second leg of the Coppa Italia semi-final. Well, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo's controversial late penalty for Juve meant 3 days before the resumption of the Serie A. Napoli lead Inter Milan 1-0 in the other semi-final, which will be played to a conclusion on Saturday. Looks like they might just be selling him as the club are looking to recoup funds amidst the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ramsey joined Juventus last summer on a free transfer after leaving Arsenal, and managed Juve bosses are said to be putting Ramsey up for sale as they desperately attempt to cut their wage bill. Ramsey earns £400,000 a week in Turin, something the club will struggle to maintain, and these hefty wages could cause a stumbling block for any potential suitor, with Manchester United understood to be monitoring his situation in Italy. If he was to move back to the Premier League, he will be expected to take a pay cut. Juve could look to loan him while still paying a cut of his wages. It comes after speculation that United were considering a swap move involving Paul Pogba and Ramsey. Pogba's Old Trafford's future remain in doubt, with Juve keen to bring him back to the Italian Serie A.
Reaching much further, more than any other, beyond the sky, there's no limit.
And to the German Bundesliga we go, where Norwegian teenager Erling Braut Haaland is set to return from a knee injury for Borussia Dortmund trip to Fortuna Düsseldorf tomorrow after missing the past 2 games. He's been training since Wednesday and did everything during the session. It's going very well for him. That is according to Dortmund's coach. Well, the 19-year-old has scored 10 goals in 11 Bundesliga outings since his January arrival from Salzburg. Games remaining, but could secure a Champions League spot this weekend with victory at struggling Düsseldorf if other results go their way.
My dream, my speed, and my strength give me the power to...
With that, we head straight to fixtures to expect this weekend. Of course, tonight in the Spanish La Liga, Granada would face Getafe, while Valencia will be up against Levante. And on Saturday, Espanyol will do battle with Deportivo Alaves. It will be Celta Vigo versus Villarreal. Leganés will welcome Real Valladolid, and Mallorca will tackle Barcelona. On Saturday will be Napoli versus Inter Milan. Fortuna Düsseldorf will tackle Borussia Dortmund. Hertha Berlin will be up against Bayern Munich, will be up against Borussia Mönchengladbach, as Mainz 05 would face Augsburg, and Schalke 04 will do battle with Bayer Leverkusen.
With my voice, if you believe, give it all you've got, they are fast.
With that, we head straight to transfer gossips making the rounds in the last 24 this summer for Arsenal's 25-year-old Spanish right back Hector Bellerin. Netherlands defender Virgil van Dijk is set to become the highest paid player in Liverpool's history, £20,000 a week. Chelsea have been 27-year-old is also a target for Arsenal. Bayern Munich German forward Thomas Muller said he would welcome linking up at club level with Bayer Leverkusen midfielder Kai Havertz. The 21-year-old German international is tipped to leave Leverkusen this summer. and Manchester United and Arsenal have both inquired about the Blues' planned summer transfer spending is set to be boosted by £13.5 million thanks to a sale of 25-year-old midfielder Croatia Mario Pasalic to Atalanta, where he has been on loan for the past 2 years. Wolves have become the latest Premier League club to show an interest in 22-year-old Rennes defender Axel Disasi and have put in a £13.5 million bid for the Frenchman. Tottenham Hotspur England International enters the final year of his deal. Liverpool have been linked with a move for Roma midfielder Nicolo Zaniolo, but despite being keen to get rid of some of their high earners, the Serie A club are not keen to sell the 20-year-old Italy international. And Barcelona midfielder Arturo Vidal insists he's just focusing on his football and not thinking about a possible move away from the Nou Camp. The 3-year-old Chilean is entering the final year of his contract. And lastly, Arsenal target Thomas Partey wants to remain at Atletico Madrid on increased wages amid speculation over his future. The Ghana midfielder has a £45 million release clause in his contract. Edition of Soccer Nation, the best 15 minutes of football you can get anywhere on radio. My name is Victor Oriahi, urging you to go for yourself this weekend. Yes, and enjoy the best of football. The Spanish La Liga, the German Bundesliga, and of course Copa Italia action this weekend. So do well to have fun, enjoy, watch football. Yeah, a lot of players complain that the games are boring without fans in the stadium. But I tell you, some people say half bread is better than none.
My speed and stability, all my ability came from within. As long as I see my potential, there's no limit to what I'll achieve. Yo, give it up for the master. See how I master my dreams.
I am faster, they are strong.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Some people where you meet go show you good love. All them go come your way. Don't let them go away. For me I hold my baby. For me I hold. For me I hold. For me I hold. For me I hold my baby. For me I hold. For me I hold. Some people in your life are there to make you smile. Or they will take your pain and give you so much joy. For me I hold. For me I hold my baby. For me I hold. For me I hold. For me I hold. For me I hold my baby. For me I hold. For me I hold. Some go tell you, say now you be one and only, call you baby. Some go promise when time come them fail. When the times are good, they go call you boo, they go stand beside you, claim to love you. When the times are hard, they go just beg.